Good morning and welcome to Yoga with Laura Ashland. I appreciate that you hit that subscribe button and share this with friends, as many as possible, and continue to have practice with me. Today's session is going to be an AM easy morning yoga. Now, I have seen what is labeled as easy morning yoga, and there are some very advanced postures in those clips. So today, for my seniors, for my beginners, and even advanced beginners, I'm going to do a nice 30 to 40 minute piece of morning yoga that hopefully is not, we're already at the beach, we already have the makeup on, we already have the outfit, and this becomes morning yoga. We're going to take it right from the very beginning, hence my pillow and my blankie. So, namaste and welcome to a little bit of morning practice. So as we begin, it starts from your bed in the morning. Noting that when we sleep, how sleep can actually really create a lot of tension in the body, a lot of odd twisting. That's why when we wake up in the morning from sleep, we're stiff, because we've been laying in some position with our hand under the chin, and look at that wrist action for who knows how long. It could be 20 minutes to 2 hours to longer, because once we hit sleep, we're not aware of our position anymore. I know we flip-flop a lot. We don't often sleep on our backs. We're mostly on our sides, so the hips tend to get a lot of weight on it all night long, and the hips get stiff, the hip socket. And our back, of course, is stiff, and our shoulders are stiff, and our neck is stiff. So sleep, actually, even though we require 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night, and it is super important that you get rest, that sleeping ruins the body. Doesn't ruin the internal workings of the body, but it ruins the bones and the muscles of the body in the way they're placed all night long. When we are in Shavasana, we are even, symmetrical, supported, this beautiful balance on the back. That's actually the best way to sleep. You don't have anything twisting and so on. So does that happen? No. We start out, maybe even start out, listening to some music, settling in, make sure you don't have your candles going, and you're trying to fall asleep. And we may end up this way, but then eventually, we start bringing up the feet, we start turning, we get in all kinds of crazy positions. Now, one of the most important things is to have something, if you have a hip issue, morning yoga, that you would put something between the legs to open up the width of the hip sockets. If they're constantly, one is leaning down on top of the other, and due to gravity, this one can only go so far, this one is leaning in, then you're going to have this overstretched side, and you're going to have too tight on the inside. So sometimes putting a pillow, these bolster pillows that we see, the Tootsie Roll pillows, all kinds of things, the body pillows that pregnant women use, regular pillow, we could put in between the thighs in order to keep parallel hips so that it doesn't sink in the middle of the night, and you may remain that way for 2 hours before you realize you need to be back to neutral or even. So this is one idea. Another one, of course, is people will put something under the leg. That always feels very good because that keeps the back flat. So you would have some kind of a Tootsie Roll pillow under the legs, right? Also, a pillow that will support the neck so that the skull doesn't drop back and you're in this extension in the neck bones all night long, that you have a little bit of a brace underneath the neck. These smaller items are even better, just to fit the crook of the neck. So sleep really disturbs us. So here I'm going. We're going to start right out from crazy sleep. So we're going to come to our side. We're going to bring this shoulder in. It's internally rotated for hours and hours, right? We're not necessarily up here for very long. This shoulder gets in all kinds of trouble because it has nowhere to go, and the weight of my rib cage and torso are on this shoulder head. So it helps to keep neck in line with spine by using some kind of a supported pillow here. The poofy mushy ones aren't really the best because you tend to sink into them. You really want something that's kind of lifting you up a little bit and at least filling this crevice of the neck. So here we are, we've been sleeping 6 to 8 hours and we wake up pretty stiff. And we're wondering why my wrists are bothering me. Look at this gripping that we do. So one thing you can do for the wrist is take your wrist under the pillow, and at least for a little while you have a nice flat wrist. So you're resting on it and it's staying in a nice neutral posture. It's not going to happen every time, but just be a little bit more aware to keep the wrist as straight as possible. We get into some kind of cocoon thing like this. So here we go. We're waking up. This is true morning yoga. Not out at the beach yet. Okay? So we're waking up and we're going, oh dear, I've got to get up. There goes the alarm clock. We're taking off the blanket, right? And removing. We're picking up the hip. I'm using my feet, even into that mattress. I'm going to use the feet to shift my hips. One of the first things, because we've probably slept in this flexion here, one of the first things you want to do actually is bridge posture. Pressing your feet in your mattress before you even wake up and just kind of getting these hips up and finding beautiful neutral. A couple of these, lower back down. It's not so resistant in the mattress, but it helps. Just go ahead and press in. It'll feel really great on the upper spine too. Getting the hips in a different position than they've been in all night. Mostly in flexion, unless you were straight ahead. So here's one. The next one, just bringing up one limb, nice flexion here, straighten out the other one. Rolling over. Taking this hand away from the center of the body. If that's too much, if you've been on that crazy shoulder all night long and it feels pretty stiff, you can do a cactus arm here. Hold it back. It's probably been internal most of the night, so this is internal rotation. Maybe you want an external rotation. Cactus arms, or above your head. Dropping the plate to the pillow and our fake bed here. Moving, playing a little bit, getting a little weight on the top. Inhale as you come up. We do the other side. Notice I'm meeting my heels together, picking up the hip, re-squaring and centering, extending that opposite limb, taking in the next one. So morning yoga happens before you even get out of bed. Why not? Why not stay here for a few moments and create some wonderful stretches? Taking it over on the other side. Taking out the arm, opposite, great stretch, great twist. Coming back, putting my heels in. I'm very much off at an angle, and especially you're kind of in a squishy bed. Maybe not all of you, some are firmer, but I'm bringing up that heel, bringing up the hips, finding the aha, great space. Now to come out of bed, often we'll just swing over and put our feet down. But we could even bring these knees up a little bit more, roll around, and then taking the backs of the legs up over towards your face. Nice hamstring stretch. And rolling up. And then bringing your legs off to the side. I'm going to imagine my legs are off to the side. And what a better thing to do here is these nice stretches. Any kind of stretching that you can do before you're even upright and before you're even walking. Then, of course, all of this is morning stretching, morning yoga. As my teachers told me years ago, and I've heard it from other people as well, watch a cat. The stretching that a cat does, how they start from a beginning piece in their body and they stretch out to the edges of their body. Watch a cat stretch. That's how we should stretch in the morning, and that's how we should even have our yoga practice. Okay, so we're kind of moving around a little bit. You can certainly do any breaks that you need in between and preparing yourself for a little morning yoga. So we will put our bed supplies away. Sitting any way you wish. We're going to take that lateral flexion off to the side. If I do decide to lateral flex and I'm sitting in Sukhasana, easy seated posture, I'm going to go to that same side shin. So my right shin happens to be forward. There goes the line right off the hip. You can have a block, tented fingers, or a pressed hand. And just roll open. So there went the rolling of the thoracic spine. Drop the chin. Feel a wonderful stretch where the neck muscles come into the skull. And then when you're ready, following the fingertips up, you can circle sweep, or those with shoulder issue, straight in from the shoulder, straight up. Exhale, take it over. Inhale, back up to center. Next, inhale, lift to the ceiling, rotating the spine, and then pressing that hand, flexing the wrist and sending it down. Just one on each side. Beautiful morning stretch. Switch sides. If you sat equally in bound angle or you had your legs straight ahead, then it won't matter what side you go to. Okay, straight off the line of the hip. Rotate open. Dropping the chin. Neutral chin. Again, taking it from fingertips, shoulders straight up. Or if you have this available, this is a wonderful lift and rise too. Changes the organs, shifts and opens them up a little bit. You can certainly take it up. Inhale, lift and reach, having the head tucked in, ready to go. Exhale, take it over to the side. Nice lateral flexion, first thing in the morning. On your inhale, up we go. Exhale, prepare. Inhale, lift and reach. As I create space in the lift, I create space in the rotation. Turning that right palm, flexing the wrist, and down we go. Very nice. So we have taken lateral flexion, a little bit of rotation too. And now we're going to go ahead and lift these hips. Okay, so my hand is behind. We're going to lift our hips two ways today. So hand behind, fingertips straight ahead at the short line of your mat, or they can be off to the side or behind you. Okay, off to the side, remember we get more of a twist in the wrist. So more in line with the body is best. We're going to prepare inhale, exhale. Then on an inhale, leading with the thighs, leading with the hip, coming up through the abdominal, up through thoracic, sternum, pec, throat. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, press up and lift. Exhale, lower. Waking up these hip bones that have been sleeping all night, right? In odd positions. Positions we normally wouldn't stay in for so long. Exhale, lower. press forward with the fingers. That's what brought my spine up. Little core work, but forward with the fingers, and we want to switch legs. Okay. Even out those hips. So 3, preparing the hands behind. Inhale, exhale. Exhale. Inhale, lead through the quadriceps, lead through the femoral muscle and the thigh, the knee. Opening up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Follow the line. Try not to just be up right away to the end of this piece. Follow these nice dots. Press up. And bring the arms around and just relax a little bit. Move those shoulders, loosen up. Now this next one, we're going to rise up just a little bit more, but we're going to change our legs. So I'll turn into the direction of my mat, short line, left and right. We're going to go ahead and take that left foot into the groin here, and this can be wherever it's comfortable. Maybe it's out here, maybe it's here, maybe it's there. These are all good, okay? Any amount. My left hand is going to go behind me. I'm creating space for my lift and a tiny little bit of a rotation. So inhale, I swoop the hand, kind of get that energy stirring, but I'm still going to sit back in that core. There's that cat-like core pressing into these thighs and come up here. Exhale, lower, and again, please, my people know that are following me, to stay as long as you like at the beginning or the end of these pieces. This could be 30 seconds or a minute, nice, just natural breathing, or you're going to do one movement, one breath. And one more. Inhale, coming through core, lifting through thigh, knee, pubic bone, and hip points, that triangle. Exhale, lower. Another wonderful way to wake up. Hands behind. I'm going to bring my feet, park them in the heels, pick up the hip so that I can turn the legs. And we didn't have too much movement of spine. Spine stayed pretty controlled while the hips were doing their little movement. Here we go. I am switching my hand from the pickup this way to the lifting this way. Inhale. Exhale. Follow the line or the arc that the hand is making. Imagine that your fingertips are on paint. And this is a canvas you're making this semicircle with. Exhale as you lower. Tight. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Hands behind. Feet come in. Flip the hands. Pick up the hip. Very nice. Now we're going to work a little bit with gate pose. It's a wonderful, another lateral stretch, side stretch. So we're coming first up onto the knees, and we'll take out the right leg. Notice my side of my foot is parallel to the short line. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the heart. And again, inhale here. Exhale, hands to the heart. Then I'm going to bring my hand down to the floor. Bring up the leg. Back up. Exhale to the floor. This can come over to the side, can be straight up, can be on the hip. Come up. Nice. And to the opposite direction. Inhale up. Exhale. Lower. Looks very much like the reverse warrior. I'm not in a back bend. I'm in an arc lateral flexion. Inhale back up. Exhale, draw in the arms, draw in the leg. Fold. Let all that extension that happened in the femoral muscles and in the quadriceps and in the hip flexor, all that extension, draw it in. Other side, up on the knees. We'll take out the other foot. I'm parallel again. Let me move down a little bit. There. You could be right here. This is a great stretch for quad. Great contraction for the IT. Great stretch for the tendon and ligament of the ankle and foot. Inhale, come up. Exhale. And again, inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Arm can do wherever. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Opposite flexion. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Action coming from the hip girdle first, then the abdominal, then the arm. Inhale up. Exhale, bring it all together. Leg will come in. Exhale, you can find child's pose here, or just this beautiful sheltered tuck. Hands next to the knees. Inhale, head and neck come first. Nice line, like always. Lengthening the arms, pressing the fingers, and spine floats up. Very nice. Now we're going to take our legs into down dog for a nice morning stretch. Watch a cat or a dog when they get up from sitting down or sleeping. The first thing they do is go into that incredible down dog stretch. Hence the name. My dog does it every time he gets ready to go out, and I lace him up. He goes right into the down dog. So here we go. We're going to curl the toes. Tap the tips of the toes if you wish. Pick up those knees and then exhale back to the hip and then begin to lengthen the dog. Now maybe your dog is more open. You're planning to go to lower the knees in chaturanga or plank. Maybe your dog is a little more stationary and you just want to hang. Three to 5 good breaths. Broaden the shoulder blades. Don't collapse. Broaden them out. Small parenthesis in each arm. Down dog can be held from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. Take your time. Work your own individual practice. Now from the down dog, we're going to take a deep stretch today. We can have a nice prince lunge, or we can go into the crescent lunge. So we will pick up those heels. I'm going to step forward with my left leg, bring my foot to the hands, My hands will frame that foot. Now I can lower down my knee so that it is directly under the hip. Flip the foot, press the shin bar in, and come up to the Prince lunge. This is a fine lunge, so it would be inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So now we have power and balance. Inhale, exhale. Not as much flexibility as power and balance. Now, in order to take this a level up, and this is what I'm seeing people are calling easy, and easy it is not. I'm going to lean in to let my foot be free to move. I'm going to pick up those toes, press back with the kneecap about 6 to 8 inches, then replace the foot, then come up in this crescent lunge. Press away, lengthen those arms. We'll get a nice length on the quadriceps and femoral. Exhale, lower in. Inhale, press away. The arms lengthen, the knee doesn't move from the ankle. Exhale, deepen it. Great psoas stretch here. Inhale, press away. Exhale, lower in. Now with hands or blocks, I'm going to shift back. There came my toes up, heel pressed in. I'm going to follow these blocks back. Rest onto the folded right leg and exhale, come down. All of this range is yours. Maybe you're here, or here, or here, or lower, here. Working the hamstring stretch, of course. You could also sit and have a bend, but you didn't have it all the way straight. Okay? Or make it straight. Big inhale, exhale. Or no blocks. Now to come up, my foot action is going to start the movement. Rather than lift from heavy hip, the foot's going to start the action and my hands. Foot comes up, press foot in. There we go. Now we get the action of the hip. One last crescent lunge. Great stretch for morning work. These should be gentle. This is not necessarily easy because of the stretch here. It's something to work toward. But any lunge is great. Front foot comes back. You can decide to do a little bit of child's pose here. Feels good to fold the legs. And again, the other side. Inhale, come up. Curl the toes. Press back in the hips. Find down dog. One of the most important postures in yoga, besides Shavasana, obviously, we all come for Shavasana, but this is probably yoga's number one. You can decide for yourself. Every muscle is being used. You have balance, strength, and flexibility all going at the same time. At first, this seems like effort, breathing. After a while, this becomes a place of rest, of reconnection, a station to stop at in between a flow. This truly will become your resting point. Up comes that right foot, inside the hands, or maybe the foot lands outside first, up, taking it to the front, of course, or just stepping up. My knee, because my feet came up onto the toes, That brought my kneecap closer to my hip, so that once I laid it down, I'm directly, sorry about the pants, I'm directly underneath that hip. Inhale. There's some core. Nice. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, come forward. Inhale. Let all your body parts work together, almost in unison. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Hands on the mat. I'm going to lean forward over the set of toes that freed up my back foot to pick up the toes, pick up the knee, and send the knee back about 6 to 8 inches. Replace the shin, the plate of the foot. Watch the sickling of the foot. That's a sickle, turning it in. People that are pronators, knees are in, hips are in, feet are turned in, pronators, will sickle their foot. So we want to keep that foot as straight as possible. That's great for bringing back the tendon and ligament in a nice healthy balance rather than turned in or out. I'm going to drop in, get the quads and the femoral thigh ready to good stretch. Inhale, press away. Exhale, drop in. Inhale, press away. Stay off that knee. Make sure you're on the long bone. Exhale, release. Inhale, press away. Exhale, release. Mouth breathing is good. Exhale through the mouth or exhale through the nose. They're all very healthy for you. Inhale, I'm going to pick up. Hands for support. Either the blocks like we used earlier. Up came my foot and toes. I'm walking my hands back. I'm guiding. I'm bracing. Setting down that back leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press up. Exhale. Inhale. See the action of that foot to help me walk up. And again, the use of the blocks. Walk, 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 set it up, hold it. There goes the foot from here to here. Placing it down. Remember, you can still bend this leg. As you come closer, all these ranges are yours. That is a hamstring stretch, not a back stretch. It's hip loosening, opening, and hamstring for sure. My hamstrings are very, very open. I have hypermobility, hyperflexion in the back of my body. That doesn't help my knees. I'm losing this, I'm working to keep the stability of the straps, the cartilage, and the soft tissue here, tendon and ligament in the knee. There's no muscle here. So I really want to intensify strength here by keeping that knee bent and not just flapping it back, knowing that I can come forward because I have this ultimate stretch back here. I'll never regain the tendon and ligament tightening. Once they're stretched open, they're non-contractile. They'll stay stretched open. So people that are tight, this is good work for them because they'll loosen, 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 loosen. Hypermobility people, hyperflexion people, stay strong. Inhale, there goes the foot action. Front foot goes to the back foot. Exhale, child's pose. Do these cycles of lunges, as many as you wish. Whatever inspires you that day, maybe you only do 1 or 2, maybe you do 10. You can certainly do the bridge poses when we first got out of bed. The lifting of the hips because they've been flexed all night long. As many cycles as you wish. This is your practice. I'm laying out a few bullet points for you to follow. But again, you're at home practicing. pick one of these movements and just stay in a cycle of that for strength. So thank you for hopefully what is beginner's easy morning yoga. Be careful when you are involved in watching someone else work. Stay with what you can do and what you know. And seniors especially, that's my demographic, of course. I mean, I can work with 20, 30, 40-year-olds, but I am going to be 62. And I work with seniors, and I know that they're not going to get out there and do what looks like easy stretches from someone that's either been a dancer or a yoga practitioner for already 10 or 15 of their years. So, bless everybody. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.